Did you know that for many years, Christians and even pastors have misunderstood the Bible? They are often twisting it to suit their own perception of faith. We take ancient truths and make them modern slogans only. The true, original meaning is often lost us today. Here are every misunderstood Bible verse well explained. We will find the original meaning of the text. This will lead us to a clearer call to discipleship now. Get ready to see the scripture with new eyes. Let's dive into the first misunderstood command. Verse 1. The misused command against judgment. Matthew 7 verse 1. This is the most common quote used to dismiss accountability. Is Jesus truly telling us to stop all moral evaluation? Judge not, that you be not judged. Matthew 7 verse 1. This is a favorite quote in our modern culture. Most people use it to silence all needed criticism. They claim Jesus completely banned all moral evaluation. But that is not the message Jesus was sending here. This misinterpretation ignores the immediate context, the contextual shock. Go ahead and read the very next verse quickly. Jesus uses an illustration of a log and a speck. He is not telling us to ignore all sin completely. He is saying to remove the log in your own eye first. This must happen before you help your brother next. Jesus actually commands righteous judgment later on. John 7 verse 24. He told the disciples to judge by true standards alone. So Jesus did not forbid all evaluation. He simply condemned hypocritical judgment always. He hates the arrogant spirit of self-righteousness. The problem is the lumberyard in our own heart. We are so quick to condemn others' small flaws, but we ignore our own huge and obvious sins instead. This verse is a command for deep self-reflection. It is not a command for universal tolerance at all. It means you must face your own brokenness first. Verse 2. The root of all evil. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. We hear this line all the time. But did Paul really say money itself is evil? The actual wording changes everything. Here is the most popular financial misquote. Money is the root of all evil. That is close, but it is entirely incorrect. Check the exact wording in your own Bible copy. Paul wrote, "The love of money is the root of all evil." That small difference changes the entire meaning now. The contextual shock. Money itself is not inherently evil or sinful for you. Money is simply a neutral tool for market exchange. God commands us to be generous with our resources. We are called to be faithful stewards of our wealth. The danger lies entirely in our attachment to money. Paul warns against the desire for more wealth only. The Bible never condemns being a person of means. The Bible always condemns the pursuit of means itself. Your pursuit must be focused on God's kingdom first. The problem is not the money in your bank account. The problem is what money has done to your heart. The next two verses relate to clothing and appearance. They show us how much culture shapes our interpretation of the text. Verse 3. Modesty and social status. 1 Timothy 2 verses 9 to 10. This verse has been used to police women's clothing for centuries. But Paul was addressing a specific, scandalous problem in the church. Let's look at a verse about women's clothing now. Paul writes women should dress with great modesty. They should not wear expensive gold or elaborate hair. For decades, this was read as a literal dress code alone. It seemed to ban all nice clothes or any jewelry usage. The contextual shock. We must understand the culture of Roman Ephesus here. Clothing and hairstyle were clear social markers there. Poor women had plain hair and simple, undyed clothes. Extremely wealthy women wore luxurious purple cloth. They wore huge, elaborate, expensive hairstyles often. These styles showed off their family's massive wealth. Paul was not concerned with general modesty only. He was confronting a deep class division in the church. Wealthy women were using their clothing to boast. They used their clothes to look down on the poor. The core principle remains eternally valid for us all. We are called to avoid all pride in our appearance. Our focus should be on good works, not on fashion. Verse 4. The cultural symbol of covering. 1 Corinthians 11 verses 5 to 6. Why did Paul tell women to cover their heads during worship? The answer is not about eternal gender roles, but about saving the church's reputation. This next verse is closely related to the last one here. It discusses women praying with their heads uncovered. This led to mandatory head coverings in many churches. It was seen as a timeless command for all worship. The contextual shock. Again, we must look at the specific Corinthian culture. Paul is addressing a very specific social problem here. In Corinth, men often wore long hair for vanity. Women often shaved their heads as a sign of disgrace. This was done to adulterers or female criminals only. A shaved head carried a strong social stigma there. A head covering was a cultural sign of respectability. It was a sign of not being considered shamed or immoral. Paul's primary concern was the church's reputation. The church needed to be seen as decent in the city. He did not want to cause unnecessary offense to outsiders. The heart of the command remains constant for us all. We must honor God with all of our actions and choices. Let us now move from social conduct and look at a challenging verse about the pursuit of knowledge and certainty. Verse 5. Faith is not blind hope. Hebrews 11 verse 1. If faith means believing things that aren't true, why is it valued? This verse has been misunderstood as embracing irrationality. Most people define faith using this popular verse. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Many think this means believing things that make no sense. They believe faith is just a leap into the complete dark. This suggests that faith is believing without any evidence. The original Greek word is apostasis. This word does not mean hopeful wishing or blind trust. It actually means substance or underlying reality. In ancient writings, it referred to a legal title deed. A deed proves you own land you have not yet occupied. The writer is saying that faith is our title deed now. It is our legal claim on all of God's future promises. It is not based on wishful thinking alone today. It is based on the solid character of God himself. He has promised a future, and we hold the title deed. The resurrection is our most significant evidence now. Faith is confidently trusting his proven character. This gives a believer a very firm foundation. You are not standing on sand, but on a rock. Finally, let us look at the verse that we often cling to when facing a major crisis in life. Verse 6. God's promise in moral struggle. 1 Coríntios 10:13. We often quote this verse when facing physical pain or suffering. But Paul was addressing a completely different kind of struggle. This verse gives great comfort to every believer. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Many read this as a promise of limited suffering only. They think this means God will spare them from all pain. They believe he will only send them easy-to-handle trials. But we know from life that trials are always crushing. The word translated as temptation is pyrasmos. This word is used for two related things in the Bible. It means both moral temptation and a painful trial. Here, Paul is speaking about moral temptation specifically. He is not discussing the weight of your painful suffering. He is discussing the moral challenge to sin now. He will always provide a way of escape from sin. The focus is on moral integrity, not on pain levels at all. The trial may be utterly crushing and debilitating for you, but you will never be forced to violate your conscience now. This verse does not promise a life without agony. It promises a life of moral victory in your agony. You can stand firm against the urge to give up now. This is a promise of God's power and our faithfulness. We have uncovered 6 challenging truths today. These truths move us past simple surface reading alone. They call us to look deeply at God's original word. Which of these 6 verses challenge your thinking most? Let me know in the comments below right now. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe here. Thank you for watching.